Thank you very much for your time this morning, Manqoba. No doubt a very difficult time for the family today as they lay to rest those family members that they can.
Indeed, Rapua, it is indeed a very sad day for this family in particular. We are here in Sweetwaters in Pietermaritzburg, where the Mdlalose family had come from. We do know that they had been staying at Umzinyati in Inanda when 10 of those family members were swept away by the floods about 2 weeks ago. And of course, it is quite a tragic story for this particular family, given the fact that there were even 5 children that were among those that were swept away by those heavy rains. And of course, the family members here still trying to come to terms with their loss. We have been told that the service will begin around about 11 o'clock this morning. The final preparations for that funeral service are still underway. But what we do know is that those family members will be laid to rest here at the family home here. And this funeral service itself, we do understand that the Premier will also be in attendance to offer his condolences as well as to mourn with this particular family. So you can imagine the grief that has befallen this family, Rapua, given that, it was just a normal day. And in fact, they were planning that they were going to meet on Easter as a family and, have a celebration as a family on Easter, when unfortunately, just before that happened, then this tragedy befell them. So the family quite traumatized at this stage. But what we do understand in terms of the program is that the family members are still held up in Durban. That's where they're performing some rituals, some family rituals. Then they'll be making their way with the bodies of the late family members here to Sweetwaters, where this funeral service will be held. But I just want to bring in the local Induna. Of course, this has shocked even many people here in Sweetwaters. Induna Shezi, ngiyazi ukuthi baba kunzima kunina nonke ngalokho kwenzekile la, nizizwa kanjani na baba ngokwenzekile kuleli khaya?
Angibingelele kakhulu msakazi, cha sishokeke kakhulu siyisigodi noma samampumusa ongangokuba ngisho inkosi yesizwe icelile ukuthi njengoba ngiyinduna ngikhalele kakhulu esizweni ngesehle esenzekile ezweni. Into esithusayo le nento esishwamayo kakhulukazi kule age yethu, sake sezwa kadala ukuthi yake yenzeka ngo-87 into ecishe ifane nale, kodwa le ngathi bewesi kakhulu. So siyisizwe nje asikho esimeni esihle, but sibonga kakhulu uhulumeni waKwaZulu-Natal indlela alekelele ngayo umndeni wakhona lekhaya ngaba kucabashe la kuzofihlwa khona imizimba, kanye nomasipala wasemsunduzi uzibophezele kakhulu ukulekelela nokubona nje umphakathi ngendlela ophume ngayo ukuzolekelela umndeni kababa ucabashe. Siyisizwe noma siyisigodi samampumuza sishokeke kakhulu ngendlela okwenzeke ngayo ba. Yeah.
So ke baba, nalapha kube khona umonakalo wenzekile la, ube mngakanani la?
Noma la ngasohlangothini lethu ungabanga mkhulu ngalendlela okwenzeke ngayo eThekwini, but isikhona imizi ethintekile kodwa abekho abadlulile babe ngale indawo okuthiwa iSand Dam, la kuthiwa kambe khona abawu4 kusatholakala abawu2 abakathonakali la nje ngaphansi kwenkosi yethu ubaba uZondi akekho hambile, kodwa ikhona into eyenzekile ukuthi kuvandalizeke imizi ethize. Bona bafikile abaka disaster behamba nathi njengobuholi bendabuko nokhansela siba identify lezo ndawo la kwenzeke khona.
Ake ngibuze ke baba, so ngokukhuluma nomndeni kodwa ubona ngase kukhona uchaso abalitholayo njengomndeni ukuthi mhlambe bakwazi ukufihla nokuthi bathole kululekwa ngokomqondo, ngoba phela kubalekile nakho kululekwa ngomqondo umlahlekela amalungu amangaka omndeni?
Ngibona ukuthi kubalekile ukuthi after le incident eyenzekile uhulumeni kufanele angenelele ngokuthi kufanele balulekwe, ngoba noma ukhuluma nobaba walekhaya ezinye izinto uyazikhohlwa. Nithi kade nifonelana naye nikhuluma uphinde uze mase nikhuluma naye ukuthi hayi ngeke engathi lokho ebenikhuluma akasakukhumbuli kahle. So sibona ngathi kusekhona okubalekile ukuthi kufanele kwenziwe i-counselling kakhulukazi ubaba uCabashe ophinde abe yi-counsellor lenduna isizwe sakhona yasesigodini sasempusheni.
Ubazi wena labashonile baba ungabachaza njengabantu abanjani?
Ikakhulukazi umama wezingane obebe mningi kakhulu kule ndawo, ube usisi nje obe right, emsiza kakhulu baba ngoba ubaba umuntu osethanda ukukhula, ngisho engaphilile uyena umuntu obekade emlethela amaphilisi khona nje ukugula kokugcina la kwakaba nako. Uyena usisi obekade elekelela kakhulu ukuthi ubaba agcine sesimeni. Enye izinto ebimkhalisa kakhulu ethi impilo yakhe akazi ukuthi sizoba njani ngoba uphume eguleni nje ubaba uCabashe, kodwa elekelelwa usisi emlethela kusho ukuthi ubesebenza kwabanye bodokotela eThekwini. So ubesho nje esikhombisa amaphilisi agcine ukumlethela wona ukuthi uma egula akasazi ukuthi manje usezosathana ahlanganise nani.
Okay. Ngiyabonga kakhulu Nduna ngokukhuluma nathi namhlanje. Well, that was Induna Mbongeni Shezi, who is a local Induna here in this particular area, just sharing some of their sentiments, their shock as a community about this tragedy that has happened here. And he's saying that, of course, this issue has left many of the community members here in shock. And in fact, still trying to piece together exactly how such a tragedy could happen, but also saying that, in terms of the family itself is still traumatized. They still need some counseling, and in fact saying that what he suggests is that government should intervene when it comes to the issue of counseling, because they really need some sort of intervention. He says that the old man here, the father of this homestead here, the Cabashe family, is still, sometimes when you speak to him, there's some confusion. You can just tell that he's been left traumatized by this incident, but also saying that describing the lady or the mother of or the grandmother that also passed away in this incident, saying that she was quite a helpful person. She was a person who would come to the family and help Ubaba Cabashe, bring him some medication when he needed medication, because she worked at a doctor in Durban. So this family is saying that it is quite a tragic end to the lives of those 10 people. But of course, they are going to bury those 6 family members with a heavy heart, given that they still haven't found 4 of those family members at this particular point. Those searches and rescue operations are still ongoing to try and retrieve some of the bodies. So we do know that the Premier will be here later on to give a speech at that particular funeral.
No, absolutely. Very, very sad circumstances that you are reporting from, indeed, Manqoba. And we will catch up with you a little bit later. Perhaps you get to have a conversation with the Premier about those search and recovery missions that the department is on with the rest of the family members that were lost within those devastating floods that took place. That is Manqoba Mchunu giving us the very latest from what's happening in KZN with that particular funeral of those family members that have lost 10 of their family members because of the floods.